of a well-written text. So the first one is organization. A well-organized organization helps to ensure that the writer is able to effectively communicate through clear and logical pattern what ideas he or she wants to impart in his or her readers. So the use of an organization pattern in writing, therefore, is important if the purpose of the writer is to be able to present his ideas in an organized way. So, ibig sabihin, kinakailangan talaga na organize yung ideas natin. Ibig sabihin na organize yung ideas, for example, pinag-usapan or you already tackled all about these things. So, after that one, hindi ka na pwedeng bumalik pa doon. So, continue, where are you going to finish or to stop? So, there are 3 prevailing paragraph patterns in writing. The first one, we have chronological pattern. So, this pattern arranges the ideas according to time, either backward or forward. The ideas which occur first or which occur second, and so on. So, ibig sabihin kapag chronological pattern, it means na yung pagkasunod-sunod. Hindi naman pwedeng naunang bumaha bago umulan ng malakas. So, kinakailangan kung ano yung unang nangyayari in the middle part and so on. Dapat sunod-sunod yung mga pangyayari. So, this works well with the different modes of paragraph development like narration. So, we already talked about narration, the process analysis, and cause and effect. So, the second one, we have spatial or geographical order. So, the spatial or geographical order arranges information according to how things fit in a physical space. So, it means kung nasa nakalagay yung mga bagay. Kasi physical space you already have the space. So, how are you going to identify that thing o yung bagay na nakalagay dyan? For example, ang upuan ay nasa likod na parte ng classroom or ang electric fan ay nasa harap ng lamesa. So, you already picture out na doon nakalagay yung mga bagay na yon. So, this could be a space like a room or building in a university, an organization, etc. This pattern can be used for paragraph development methods such as description and example. Right. The third one, we have topical or logical order. So, the topical or logical order is used when the writer is to present several ideas that are interrelated. So, development by example. So, comparison and contrast, definition, analogy, process analysis, and classification are associated with this pattern. Bakit? Kasi you are going to present ideas na interrelated or may relasyon. So, katulad ng comparison and contrast, the relationship of one or the similarities of these things should be related to the contrast as well. You need to deliver what are the relationship of both sides. Ganyan yung logical arrangement. So, the second one, we have coherence and cohesion. So, kapag sinabing cohesion is the connection of the sentences and ideas in your text. So, when a text is cohesive, so the sentences appear as single unit, not just a random sequence of sentences or thoughts. So, good cohesion leads to coherence. So, you need na may connection your first sentence to your second sentence. For example, you are talking about legal logging on your first sentence. Then, on the second sentence, you are talking already about killing. So, it's really difficult for us to identify what is the relationship or what is the connection of the two sentences. So, you need to talk about, on the first sentence, you need to talk about illegal logging. So, the second sentence must be the supporting details about your first sentence. So, the second one, we have coherence. So, it is the overall understandability of what you say or write. So, it refers to the logic or ideas and how such ideas are presented rather than the language used to explain or express them. So, it makes sure that each phrase, sentences, and paragraph contribute to the overall meaning of an entire place. Ganito, kung ang cohesion is all about the sentences, the relationship of the first sentence to the next sentence, ang coherence naman is the relationship of overall. Dapat, yung each phrase mo, yung mga sentences, at the whole paragraph, ay meron siyang contribution to the whole meaning. It means na meron siyang relationship. Hindi pwedeng ang pinag-usapan natin sa first is illegal logging, tapos yung sa second, iba na naman, sa third, iba na naman. So it means, if your write-ups or ang mga written text nyo ay coherence, it means na the overall understandability. So, dapat, yung galing sa phrase, sentence, and sa paragraph nyo ay meron talaga siyang contribution to the whole meaning of your piece. Alright? So, next we have language use. When we say language use, good writing includes good choice of diction. Diction is defined as the way in which words are used in speech or in writing. It separates good writing from bad writing. If one's writing is good, that means that the writer used words that are accurate, meaning it is right word based on his or her intention. So, ganito. Ang language use, it is the choice of words from the writer or from the speaker. For example, Janine saw her friend Jira, who obviously lost weight at a department store. So she exclaimed, "Hello, my friend, you look thin." Parang ganon. For example, tumataba yung friend mo. Instead na sabihin mo na, bumababoy ka, instead na sabihin mo ganyan, you need to choose the exact word or the exact term para hindi masakit. For example, tumataba nga siya. So, ang gagamitin mo ay medyo magaan sa pandinig, magaan sa feeling. Pareha nitong example na to. "Hello, my friend, you look thin." So, instead na saying na lumolosyang ka, kinakailangan mo sabihin sa maayos. Like, medyo nagbabawas ka yata ng timbang. So, hindi masakit yung second na ginamit natin, nagbabawas ng timbang. Kesa dun sa first na lumolosyang ka. Kasi, parang, ang diction kasi na, or ang choice of words mo as a reader, as a writer, or as a speaker, is iba. Kailangan mo identify yung tama na word sa gusto mong iparating. Kung gusto mo iparating na pumapayat siya, sabihin mo yung maayos, hindi yung parang lumolosyang ka. Iba na kasing term na yon. So, the next one we have mechanics. These are rules or mechanics that you must consider and remember when writing. So, these rules do not only cover your knowledge in the way you organize your ideas. You must apply what you have learned about subject-verb agreement, capitalization, punctuations, spelling, writing numbers, etc. So, we have here basic rules in different areas. So, first is the subject-verb agreement. So, a verb agrees with its subject in a person and in number. A singular subject requires a singular verb. And a plural subject requires a plural verb. So, you need to identify if ang singular ba, ang subject mo ba ay singular at ang verb mo ba ay singular. So, example, my friend submits his term paper on time. So, yung friend na naka-underline dyan, it is on a singular. So, singular man ang subject mo, the word submits there is your verb. So, you need to have it in singular form. Teacher, kapag may S ba, it means singular form ba? Yes. And also, kapag plural ang subject mo, katulad ng second, the workers are noisy. Workers, these are workers naman, hindi na siya worker. So, ibig sabihin, plural. At ang word na are ay plural rin na verb. Kasi, kapag singular ang gagamitin natin, the worker na lang is. hindi na siya are. So, dapat kung singular ang inyong subject, singular din dapat ang verb at vice versa. Number 2, collective nouns, either singular or plural depending on the context in which they appear. So, example, the second year, section 9. Accountancy students, submit the report tomorrow. So, anong nangyari? Ang naka-underline dyan, the second year, section 9 is your subject or whom we are talking about. Sino yung pinag-uusapan? So, itong second year, section 9. Next, we also have when the members of the group are considered as individuals who act separately, the single form of the verb is used. So, single, kapag merong member ng isang grupo na gumagalaw as an individual, so it means you're going to use the simple form of the verb. So, the crowd leave one by one. So, itong crowd ay group. However, the part of the crowd are leaving one by one. So, we're going to use the simple form of the verb, the leave. The letter D, the verb agrees with the subject, not with the predicate noun. So, the objection to the place is the many rebels. So, the objection is the subject. Kahit nasabihin nating many rebels, this is a noun. However, the subject is the objection. Sino yung pinag-uusapan? So, the objection is singular. So, ang ating verb is singular, which is. Make the verb agree with the subject, not with the complement. So, often the result of the conflicts is failing relationship. So, kinakailangan naka-agree siya sa ating against sa subject, which is the result. Kasi baka merong iba sa inyo na magtataka, conflicts man yan, sure, marami man yan. So, kinakailangan are yan, hindi. Kasi this is a complement. So, the result here is the subject. Next, we also have some nouns are plural in form but singular in meaning. For example, mathematics. So, ang mathematics is plural siya in form. Bakit? Kasi meron siyang S. Pero, ang meaning niyan ay singular. So, gagamitin natin is singular. For another example, Philippines, physics. So, those are words na, or nouns na, plural siya ng form, pero singular ang meaning niya. Letter G, some nouns are plural in form and in meaning. So, scissors. Dalawa na kasi yan. So, scissors are sharp enough to cut the bark of the tree. So, kung meron mang plural ang kanyang pagkakasulat pero singular ang meaning, meron din namang plural ang form pero singular ang kanyang meaning. Plural ang noun at ang plural din ang kanyang meaning. Letter H. Some nouns ending in S may take either an S form or a simple form. So, statistics show that women live longer than men. So, statistics is a noun. Pwede rin naman siyang may S, pwede rin siyang walang S. So, pwede siyang statistic and statistics. Letter I, for compound subjects joined by or, either, or neither, nor, the verb agrees with the subject near it. So, sino yung pinakamalapit sa ating verb? For example, either the employees or the manager opens the store every day. So, ang employees natin and ang manager dito, these are the subjects. Pero, sino yung pinakamalapit sa ating verb? So, si manager. So, since si manager is singular, so, dapat ang ating verb ay singular. Alright, so tense naman. So, tense is the attribute of a verb which shows the time of the action, condition, or state of being in relation to the time of speaking or writing. So, when a sentence expresses two past actions, which action prior to the other, that priority is expressed through the past perfect tense. So my friend told me that he had signed the contract. So, we also have statements that are permanently true should be expressed in present tense. So kapag totoo ang mga statement, it means na present tense lang sa kanya palagi. So, he said that Laguna is 75 kilometers from Manila. So, we also have voice of the verb. So, the voice indicates whether the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action in the sentence. The two types of voice are active and passive. So, the verb is said to be the active voice if the subject is the doer. Kapag yung subject natin, yung doer or gumagawa ng action. At passive naman, kung ang subject ang nagre-receive ng action. Example, the carpenter built the house. So, ang carpenter dito is the doer of the action. Sino ba yung nagbi-build ng house? Diba yung carpenter? So, ang subject natin na carpenter here is the doer of the action. That is example of an active. Passive naman, the house was built by the carpenter. Sino yung nagbi-build ng house? Diba? Yung carpenter. So, the subject na house is ang nagre-receive ng action na ginagawa ng carpenter. So, the house here is the receiver of the action na built. So, that is an example of passive. Next, capitalization. So, when we're talking about capitalization, the first word in a sentence, for example, must be capitalized. Dapat capital ha, hindi yung naka-small letter. First word in a sentence. Dapat rin na-capitalize ang pronoun na I. Kasi walang small letter na I kapag nasa kung nasa word siya na, for example, indicate, kinakailangan mo small letter. Pero kapag pronoun ang ginagamit mo na I, dapat naka-capital letter. Letter C, capitalize proper nouns or the specific names of person, places, events, things, or organization. So, kapag sinabing proper nouns, ibig sabihin ay meron talaga mga pangalan. For example, pangalan mo. You need to capital the first letter. Not all capitalized, pero first letter sa mga pangalan mo. Sa pangalan mo, sa mga pangalan ng lugar, sa mga pangalan ng mga organisasyon at ng mga bagay. Letter D, capitalize the names of God. Kapag God, hindi yung mga goddesses and gods na galing sa Roman and Greek ha. Kinakailangan natin i-capital yung name na God, deities, religious figures, and holy books. So, you need to capitalize those things. Then also capitalize title preceding names, not titles that follow names. So, capital nyo rin yon. Capitalize directions that are names like north, south, east, and west. So, kapag gumagamit ng direction, you need to capitalize those things. Also, capitalize the days of the week, months of the year, and holidays but not the season like spring, winter, autumn, and fall. So, capital nyo yung week. For example, Monday, Tuesday, capital dapat yon, months din, and ang year din, at ang holidays. Pero, hindi pwedeng capital ang mga season, katulad ng spring, winter, autumn, and fall. Capitalize nyo rin yung the first word in a sentence with a direct quote. So, dapat nakakapitalize yun. Then, ang acronyms din and initials, capitalize. Trademarks, capitalize. The first word of the greeting or closing of the letter, capitalize. Also, we have here punctuation. So, use period at the end of a declarative and comparative sentence that do not require an exclamation point. So, period. Comma naman to separate ideas from each one and another. And dash naman after an introductory list and used to separate elements in a sentence. So, iba yung dash, iba rin yung hyphen. So, kapag sinabi nating dash, ito yung para ma-separate mo yung elements ng mga sentence. So, ellipsis naman, if you are going to Replace words that have been left out. So if the words left out are in the middle of the sentence, use a period, then an ellipsis. Apostrophe naman is to show ownership or possession, to take the place of missing letters in contractions. For example, instead of writing I did not, we write it as I didn't. So you are using their apostrophe. Then also to form the plural of letters and numerals. Also, we have their colon. Use it after a greeting in a business letter. Use it to introduce a list. Use it between numbers in time. To introduce an important quotation in a report, essay, or news story. Hyphen naman are used in two-part numbers between 21 to 29. So, hyphen ang ginagamit natin sa mga numbers and not dash. It is used in spelled out fractions. Semicolon replaces a period if the writer wishes to narrow the gap between two closely linked sentences. Use a semicolon before words like namely, however, therefore, that is, for example, etc. So use it to separate units of a series when one or more of the units contain commas. We also have writing numbers. So the following are the most commonly used and observed rule in writing numbers. Letter A, or the first one. Write a number begins a sentence. Spell it out. So, spell out numbers less than 10. So, 1, dapat nakaspell out yan like O-N-E, less than 10 dapat. Use figures for 10 and above. So, kapag 10 na, pwede ka nang gumamit ng 1 at 0. 11, it means 1 and 1. Use figures and cardinal for dates. So, kapag dates ang sinusulat mo, use figures. When numbers apply to the same thing, render them the same way. Use figures when numbers need to stand out even if less than 10. Spell fractions when used to begin a sentence. Centuries and decades should be spelled out. So use the percentage symbol for discounts and interest. So that will be for this lesson number 2. Stay tuned for the next topic. Alright, goodbye.